Hello and welcome to Fairhill here in Maryland for the first ever Maryland 5-star event, joining 6 other events at the very top level of the sport in the world in the next few weeks in Tryon in North Carolina. Olympic gold medalist Astia Nicolau will be out pretty early on. We're going to see Ashton Michael and Emporium pretty early as well. Top 30 after dressage, Ashton and Emporium are the only first-time horse and rider combination on course. We've got a couple of first-time 5-star riders, but with experienced horses. Valerie Pride and Favian was one of my analysts earlier on. Valerie, who's starting her career as an international judge alongside riding now at the 5-star level.
I just kept putting it into Ian he's a really good designer. He always makes you stay up at night the night before. I've always found that with him, and knock on wood, I think he's really good at what he does. And I think he gave a lot of options, and I think he did a great job making it a good event that people are talking about, but not having it be carnage, because I think everyone thought it was going to be like that. So let's hope it's not one of those days where the first half goes well, the second, because that does happen at Kentucky.
First thing, it didn't necessarily look necessary, but I think is the message getting back about how a few have slipped and lost the hind end on that turn to number 11.
I don't think necessary with her. I know that was part of her original plan. The horse is a very, very big strider, very big jumper, and I think she always had it in her mind. If it felt a little uncomfortable to turn to that corner, she was going to go around. So obviously that's what she felt.
Valerie Pride on course with Favian. Valerie with the 13-year-old by French Kiss. This has been the horse of a lifetime for Valerie, taking it to 5-star for the second time this year. And here on a dressage score of 31.9.
Hill is pretty brutal.
Absolutely, it's a big climb nearly all the way to the finish from where Ashton currently is, but carrying those couple of penalties. The circle she made between the two houses, you might have clearly seen on the flags. They're separately numbered 19 and 20, so you can circle between them without penalty, just costing yourself some time. Interesting there, we just see Favian take a little bit of a jump as the terrain changes from this upward surface on the road crossing back to the turf. And you see that sometimes, at Pau where we cross the racecourse, and at the recent European Championships in Avanche where we cross the racecourse, you kind of have that. And some horses, they really don't like it. They'll always jump a change of terrain like that.
Well, Valerie, obviously, people may know that she's one of our up-and-coming FEI judges. Really does a good job, and everyone is thinking that she's going to be one of the leading judges coming through. So she's jumped that as well as anyone.
Just talk to me about the ditch in front of that Normandy bank, because it's really weird to have a dry ditch out of water up to a bank.
Yeah, it looks like they've got a false floor underneath, and they're pumping the water out of it, that anything that might leak into it. But I think we'd actually heard a lot about this leading up to the event, and so I think everyone sort of was thinking that was going to be a super deep, dark cavern, but we're surprised to see that it's a 2-foot ditch in there, and really the horses read it very, very well, and they've jumped it very well. So even with a bit of a rougher approach, it's jumped extremely well.
I think it's kind of worked to the advantage, because it felt like it was quite short on top of the Normandy bank, but actually the ditch has made them land quite neat onto the early part of the bank, so that they then have a full natural stride.
Yeah, I mean, when everyone was walking it, they were concerned that having to be aggressive to that bank would mean that it would make it even harder to get to that skinny brush, but actually it's ridden fantastically.
Valerie Pride and Favian just coming to the big Fairhill drop. So impressed with everyone just taking on this, because there didn't look to be a line there, because the tree is so much in your face when you're up on that bank.
Leslie's horse just jumped fabulously through there. Now here comes Valerie. She's getting closer to the finish flags, just coming to these beautifully built,
quite literal owl holes. They are owls for once.
I actually thought they looked like Scotty dogs when I It's massive oxer, and just about to turn onto the Vicarage V. All you want is your horse to be looking for the line.
Well, she's concentrating on this Brown Advisory Oriole Birds, because this is the first time I haven't seen Valerie without an ear-to-ear smile. Now she'll have one again as she and Favian head towards the Maryland 5-star finale. Top designers for show jumping in the eventing sport, Chris Barnard.
Well, a very, very happy Valerie there, she's just giving him a great big pat. She'll be loving him all the way back to the barn. I should imagine he's done a great job there.
12.4 penalties it will be for Favian and Valerie Pride as we prepare to welcome out our leader after dressage. Inside the top 20 for Ali Knowles and Megan O'Donoghue with Palm Crescent. Hawley Bennett Awad and Jolly Bow sit just outside that top 20. Valerie Pride and Favian on 44.3, just adding some time penalties to their dressage score.